Now on CoastTV News.
Tax Talk Tweaked, we look at the changes made to a Delaware bill that could affect how much you pay in income tax. In the celebration of life today, family and friends will honor and pay respects to the late co-founder of the Rehoboth Beach institution, Funland.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story this morning, Delaware State Police are investigating a shooting in Millsboro that happened on Thursday night at 9:38 on Mount Joy Road. Troopers say an unknown suspect fired several shots at a home, a house, a shed, and 3 cars were damaged. 4 people were inside that home, but no one was injured. Detectives are currently asking anyone with information to contact the department immediately. And we have an update on changes that could affect the personal income tax rate in Delaware. These changes were first proposed in a State House of Representatives bill, but now we are learning about dialing back on some of those rates. A new act to House Bill 13 says people with taxable income of under $135,000 will see no increase in personal taxes. In the original bill, those making over $125,000 would have had their rate go up. It has been over 2 months of inaction on House Bill 13. Now this update will be reviewed in the Revenue and Finance Committee. And new this morning, we've previously covered Tiros, a homeless encampment operated by Code Purple at the Cape that provides space for up to 28 single-person tents. It was most recently located at the old Troop 7 site on Coastal Highway, but closed back in March 15th at the end of the season. Now, Sussex County officials will hold a public hearing on April 15th during the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to discuss a proposed ordinance that would allow Tiros to operate on a piece of land in the Lewis-Rehoboth area under a conditional use. And a celebration of life of Funland co-founder Al Fasnacht will take place in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was less than 2 weeks ago that we reported to you that the iconic figure of the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk had passed away at the age of 96. In 1962, he and his family took over a location on the boardwalk and renamed it Funland, making it the place to visit if you are in the nation's summer capital. Hershey is where Fasnacht's family's roots are and where he graduated from high school. CoastTV spoke with Fasnacht's family on the impacts of his life.
He might not physically be here, but everything that he kind of embodied and what he taught us and what he kind of exemplified is, you can see it. You can see it here when people come to visit us.
And that celebration of life is currently being streamed on the YouTube page for the United Methodist Church of Hershey. And happening today in Fenwick Island, officials are looking at cheaper parking costs for business employees and people who own property in the town. Here's what is expected to be debated at this afternoon's town council meeting. Reduced parking from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., but it would not apply everywhere. Town officials are targeting certain areas, and those have yet to be identified. Paid parking in Fenwick Island begins on May 15th, and today's town council meeting takes place at 1 p.m. We are now taking a live look outside of Rehoboth Beach, and our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trahey, is going to join us. Bob, I see people on the beach and the boardwalk. It is warm outside. That's a great thing.
It is warm out there, Lisa. A beautiful beach day. We began the day in the lower 70s, not feeling like early April at all. We've warmed a few degrees from there. 74 in Georgetown, Salisbury 76, 75 in Ocean City, and Rehoboth at 75, Seaford 77. We're on the warm side of a stationary front right now, so we're looking at mostly cloudy skies. We had some showers and thunderstorms earlier this morning, but they kind of fizzled out as they headed our way. But here's that front hovering just to our north and west, and right along this front, we're seeing a few showers around D.C. And as this front settles south, there's a chance of a few showers as we go into the early afternoon, but right now not looking that great. Heavier rain a little farther west on the front, and we're seeing winds that are beginning to shift to the north and west now and gusting about 12 to 18 miles per hour. And I think as we go through the afternoon, temperatures will start to cool, but around the noon hour, still in the 70s, maybe a stray shower with that frontal passage. And then into the afternoon, we're looking at the wind shifting to the north and still remaining in the low 70s. A little cooler for the coast and looking good for your evening plans. So watch for a stray shower as we go into the early afternoon hours. Otherwise, temperatures in the low 70s and then falling off this evening as a cold front moves through. We are looking at up and down temperatures as we go into the weekend with a few hit and miss showers, heavier rain late Sunday. I'll have more on that coming up in my full forecast a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Maryland Governor Wes Moore is honoring state farmers who have achieved the 100-year milestone. 6 of the 9 families inducted into the Maryland Century Farm program are from the Eastern Shore. These include Old Meadow Farm in Wicomico County, Castle Farm in Worcester County, and Windmill Creek Vineyard and Winery in Worcester County. And we are hitting the second full day of the new tariffs enacted by President Trump. Trump insists the new tariffs will help the U.S., and NBC's Alice Barr shows us lawmakers and global leaders are weighing in on the big change to economies all over the world.
Amid a major market sell-off, Wall Street's worst day since the depths of the pandemic, President Trump downplaying the reaction to his sweeping new tariffs, arguing the economy is like a sick patient in recovery.
The operation's over, and now we let it settle in.
The global trade war, though, may only be ramping up. Trading partners from the European Union to the UK and Canada preparing retaliation.
That it's intended and will cause maximum impact in the United States.
President Trump suggesting the tariffs could change, framing them as a negotiating tool with other nations.
We're taking it to a whole new level because it's a worldwide situation.
The breadth and scope of the administration's tariffs overall rocking many small businesses like Rhoda Auto Repair that doesn't control where parts come from in a global supply chain.
It's steel and aluminum that goes into those parts. It's where those parts come from and are sourced and where they are manufactured.
All of that expected to drive up prices, and Democrats are hammering the impact on American consumers.
The Yale Budget Office projects that it will cost the average family $3,800 more this year.
As forecasters like J.P. Morgan up the chances of a global recession, administration officials are making a full court press to reassure.
We're going to have a booming stock market for a long time because we're reinvesting in the United States of America.
Adamant the tariff strategy will bring American manufacturing and jobs back to the U.S., a process economists warn may take years. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up after the break, dealing with drought will tell you what experts say you can do to lessen the effects in Maryland. Most of Maryland is under a drought warning. State officials say it's not a critical situation yet, but that's what they're trying to avoid. The Maryland Department of the Environment says below average rain and snow for the past year has led to that warning. But there is better news for the Eastern Shore. The department says it's not as bad there as the rest of the state. According to the department, there are several things Marylanders can do to minimize drought conditions.
Fix leaks. We can make sure that when we're brushing our teeth, we're turning off the water. That conserves water. If we're outside washing our car, we can make sure that we have a nozzle on our hose that turns on and off so that when we go to rinse the car, we turn the nozzle on. When we're washing it, we turn the nozzle off.
And Curry says taking these kinds of steps now can help the Eastern Shore avoid a much more serious situation when we are in the heat of the summertime. And more discussion in Ocean City on the town's budget for fiscal year 2026. Today, the police department and the beach patrol are among the agencies going in front of the town council. According to the budget proposal, OCPD expects its operating expenses to increase by over $500,000. The Beach Patrol says its operating expenses are only expected to increase by over $25,000. All this and budgets for other town agencies will be discussed today at 1 p.m.
We're seeing lots of clouds right now on the tunnel and Razor Cam. Nothing in the way of rain, 74 degrees. It's mild and muggy out there. But as the front comes through, cooling temperatures, still a chance of a shower as we go into the afternoon. Then hit and miss showers possible into the weekend and staying mild. Heavier rain later Sunday into Monday. Congratulations to Pam Rossi from Rehoboth Beach. She is the proud owner of a new umbrella from Paul Davis and CoastTV. Your full forecast is coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
In your traffic news, lane closures coming to Georgetown next week are expected to last most of the month. According to DelDOT, the Delmarva Central Railroad Company needs to conduct maintenance on the crossing at East Main Street, and this means lane closures will be in place beginning Wednesday, April 9th at 9 a.m. DelDOT says work is expected to finish on April 25th. And in Seaford, lane closures will also take place starting on April 9th. According to DelDOT, this will be on Bridgeville Highway from Ross Street to Virginia Avenue. The agency says to also expect closures on Virginia Avenue between Bridgeville Highway and Freedom Park. The project includes a new sidewalk, curb and drainage work, along with turning the two intersections into four-way stops. DelDOT says closures will last until May. And coming up tonight on DSN at 4:30 and 7:30, you can watch the playoffs for the men's Major Arena Soccer League. And then you can catch the final score at 10:30. And over on the DSN Plus app, along with those soccer games, here are some of your app exclusives. At 4, Indian River plays at Worcester Prep and Boys Across. Also at that time, high school girls soccer when the Delaware Military Academy visits Delmar. Coast TV will be right back. In Rehoboth Beach, the city says the new Beach Patrol station will be done on May 16th, according to the most recent timeline from the city. In December of 2023 is when preliminary site and utility work began on the Beach Patrol headquarters. The site of the new building is just feet away from the beach off of Baltimore Avenue. And as that project stands, it is $750,000 over budget. One local Coast TV spoke with says this project is scheduled to finish up at the perfect time.
People that come during the summertime feel safer because of it being state of the art and being up so high so that they can really see the beach and everything.
And the city says right now crews are pouring flooring and installing siding into the Beach Patrol station as that May 16th completion date is quickly approaching.
We're seeing somebody flying a kite on the Talon Racer Cam right there with a little bit of a breeze at the coast. Lots of clouds. It's mild. Maybe a scattered shower at the front this afternoon with falling temperatures. Unsettled into the weekend. Not a washout, but showers will be around. Heavier rain Sunday night into Monday, then much colder. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. Another way to get your forecast, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. Your colder 10-day forecast is coming up next. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies for the rest of your Friday. We'll be watching a cold front moving from north to south, so maybe a shower with that around 1 o'clock. We're in the mid-70s, and then some cooler air starts to build in, so temperatures actually falling through the evening hours and then into the overnight down into the 60s. About 52 Saturday morning. Could see a few showers at that time, maybe a thunderstorm. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. The rest of your Saturday looking good, around 72 degrees. Sunday, much of the day dry, 74, and then heavier rain Sunday night into Monday, and then it's much cooler, lower 50s Monday through Wednesday, lows in the 30s beginning Tuesday morning, a hard freeze Wednesday morning, 30 degrees, so keep that in mind. Not done with the cold yet, and then warming up towards the end of the week, maybe a few more showers by the weekend.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.